Well, good morning guys, hopefully you are doing well. I am. I'm ready to go for this video, feeling very radiant and refreshed this morning. That's probably because I had probably the best night's sleep I've had in a long while. I got so many pillows in my bed yesterday and they're really comfortable. Really comfortable pillows. Probably the first time I've woken up, first time in a long time I've woken up without to be fair. Because my old pillows were an absolute nightmare. It has to be said. So let's get into the video. So I wanted to talk about the inghams today, and I wanted to talk about something that has really kind of, I guess, gotten on my nerves a little bit with them. And it's to do with it's the fact that they're always joking about knocking each other out. Now, obviously they say it a lot in the videos, in their vlogs and things like that. It seems to have become, a common thing now in their vlogs. They're always joking about knocking each other out. Now, I've always said that that's not really something that they should necessarily be joking about. Like, that's not really, an appropriate thing to say even as a joke. It's not something you should say even as a joke. We've even heard Sarah saying it to the kids. We heard her saying it to Isabel in the vlog the other night. We heard her telling Isabel she was going to knock her out. She even said it to Mila in a vlog not too long ago. But what makes it even worse is the fact that the younger ones are saying it. We've heard Jay's telling Mila he was going to knock her out. I remember that vlog well because the thing that, that really pissed me off with that. It really pissed me off because she basically had sat there and filmed Jace basically telling me that he was gonna knock her out. But instead of Sarah turning around and telling Jace not to say things like that and telling him that saying things like that wasn't okay, she basically sat there laughing her head off at him like it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. And I just thought to myself, like, why was she sat there laughing at him? Why wasn't she telling him not to say that? Why wasn't she telling him that saying things like that wasn't okay? And then I thought about it and I thought, well, why would they tell him off for something that they're basically teaching him to say? Because it's like, why would they tell him off for saying something that they're always saying? 9 times out of 10 they are probably saying that in front of the younger ones, which is why the younger ones are now picking that up. Like, I don't feel like they really care, to be honest, about the things they say in front of the younger kids. I've always said that they should, been of that mindset that they need to be careful about, the sort of things that they're saying in front of the younger kids, but sometimes they seem to forget that. If people think that what they say sometimes in the vlogs is bad, they probably say far worse off camera. A lot of the things that are probably said off camera are probably way worse than what we see on camera, to be fair. I wish there was a way that I could be fair on this and say that, I think I'm being harsh. But I honestly don't think I am. Like, I just don't think it's really okay to be joking about knocking each other out and knocking, and all that jazz. It's like not something that I would, ever personally joke about. I don't think I've ever said that to anyone, even as a joke. I think I've always been very careful about the things I say, because I know that sometimes the things I say, can be taken out of context, and even if you tell somebody as a joke that you're gonna knock them out as a joke, that won't always be taken as a joke. That won't always be seen as a joke. Like, that's not how people will see it. Like, people won't always see it as a joke. So let's have obviously I'm only YouTube on my TV, so the Inham's vlog is currently sitting at 20,000 views. So that'll probably be a good 24-25k by this evening, probably. I mean, yesterday's vlog was sitting around the same amount by this time yesterday, and it got up to 24,000 views by around 5 o'clock. So we'll see where it's at 5 o'clock. Has it gotten above 25k views? I don't think it will. This will be their second vlog in a row that isn't gonna get above 25,000 views. It's actually hilarious. But it shows that there's a real problem here these days with their current vlogs. I mean, their other one, the vlog from Saturday, is currently sitting at 28,000 views. So yeah, so the vlog from Saturday still hasn't yet reached 30,000 views. It's still sitting on only 28,000 views. And then today's vlog, and then last night's vlog is currently sitting at 20,000 views, which is incredibly embarrassing for a channel that has over 1.3 million subscribers. I mean, surely the iFam have to admit that is pretty bad for a channel that has over 1.3 million subscribers to only be getting 20,000 views. Plus, obviously it will be more than that. We know it will be more than that by this evening, but, I mean, obviously, yesterday's vlog wasn't brilliant, but that's a common theme with the Ingham's vlogs these days, is they're not exactly interesting. Like, obviously, we know they're a lot of the time these days their views are going to be shit. They're not really showing anything in their vlogs that would genuinely interest people. Like, I feel like they need to show more in their vlogs that would genuinely appeal to people rather than just showing crap in their vlogs 24/7. As I said, I really don't agree with them saying, "Oh, I'm gonna knock you out," even as a joke. That's not something that they should even be saying, even as a joke. Like, it's not something that any normal parent, any normal kind of parent with common sense would joke about. It's not something that, to me, it's not really something that's appropriate for a family channel. But that's what the Ingham's channel is, and they need to remember that. I feel like sometimes Chris and Sarah actually forget that their channel is supposed to be a family channel. Sometimes they leave things in the vlogs that probably shouldn't have been left in. And I think that they need to think twice about leaving that in the vlog. I mean, hearing that has probably probably pisses me off more than them saying describing everything as being describing everything as being so cute. I bet that probably get some people getting fed up with hearing that in every vlog. But that is, hearing that doesn't really bother me, but it's more the fact that they keep joking about knocking each other out. Like, obviously, when I feel like that's gotten to me more than anything recently, is the fact that they keep joking about and they keep saying things like that, as a joke. And I get that. I understand. I fully understand that they do only mean it as a joke, and that they're not saying it in a literal way. They're not saying they're literally going to knock someone out. Like, they're not literally. It's not like the other night. It's not like it's not like Sarah was going to literally knock Isabel out. She was only saying that. Well, I know she was only saying that as a joke. But I guess I'm just of that mindset that it shouldn't really be saying things like that even as a joke. Like, that's not really an appropriate thing to be joking about. Like, I don't know why I have that opinion, but it's just, I guess I just do. Like, I guess I'm just not a big fan of the fact that they're always joking about things like that. Because I honestly don't think it's funny for them to really be joking about knocking each other, to be saying things like that as a joke. I do often try to see the funniest side of it, but This is the thing with me, is like at the moment I'm struggling to see the funny side of it. Because it doesn't feel like there is a funny side to, joking about something like that. It doesn't really feel like it's appropriate at all for them to be joking about something like that. The fact that they even say that to the kids, like they even tell the kids they're gonna knock them out. Like, why would you even joke about that? Why would you even say that or say something like that to your child, even as a joke? What normal parent, what sort of parent would think it was okay to say that to their child, even as a joke? No normal parent would ever think it was okay to joke about things like that. No normal parent would ever think it was okay to say something like that to their child as a joke. Because that's not okay to say. It's not okay to tell a child to be joking around and telling the child you're gonna knock them out. And sometimes the child might not actually realise that that the parent is joking. This is why Sarah has to be careful. And so does Chris. Like we've heard him saying he's gonna heal. I said, Sarah, I'm gonna heal you. Like, again, why would you leave something like that in a vlog? I think they leave certain things like this in the vlogs because they want people to comment on it. They want people to call them out for it. They want people to say they don't agree with it. They want people to say they don't think it's right or they don't think it's appropriate. They want people to criticise them for saying things like that. It's just a lot of it, it's got to the point where a lot of the things that the inghams do really do baffle me. Like, the thing that I sit here now, like, and I feel that, like, to be honest, I feel like I'm getting more and more concerned that something bad will happen because I feel like they're going to keep getting more and more desperate for views. And I just think to myself, like, if they get, it's like the more desperate they get for views, the worse things are gonna get. Like, if people think that things are bad now, I honestly don't think that things are as bad as they could get. I think that things are gonna get a whole lot worse. And I know that probably does sound a little wee bit harsh to say that, but it has to be said. I do think things are gonna get a whole lot worse than what they currently are. And it scares me to think about the possibility of something bad happening, but with them it always feels like there is that possibility that something bad could happen. Like, yeah, they've been lucky in the past, and there has been many occasions where something bad could have happened, and thankfully it didn't. But it's like they're not gonna keep getting lucky. Their luck is gonna run out at some point. And when Chris and Sarah's luck runs out, it will be the kids that end up paying the price. It will be the kids that end up facing the consequences for Chris and Sarah's actions. It won't be Chris and Sarah. Obviously, it won't be Chris and Sarah that have to face the consequences. It will be the kids. I feel like it is only a matter of time now before something really bad does happen. And I hate to think what that something bad could be. But it does feel like something, it feels like, and it does feel like an inevitability at this point that something bad is going to happen to those kids. And I know a lot of you guys probably laugh at me, for saying that I'm scared about this. But I feel like I have a good reason for being scared about something bad happening to those kids. The reason I'm so scared about that is you can see that Chris and Sarah are getting more and more desperate as time goes on. That's why I'm terrified something bad is going to happen to the kids. It terrifies me seeing how desperate they're getting for views. there was no, at the end of the day, there are no lows that Chris and Sarah are not willing to stoop to get views. They will do whatever they have to do to try and get a few extra views. They don't care what they do. They don't care how dangerous it is or how unsafe it is. They will do it. You know, we've seen them putting their kids in dangerous situations so many times now. You know, and as I said, thankfully nothing bad has happened. You know, I don't think anybody, there's no, I don't think there's any denying the fact that, something very bad has happened, when they let the girls paddleboard on lots of ones with no life jackets. Something very bad would have happened then. When they left Jace unsupervised on the beach, something very bad would have happened then. There's been so many times where something could go wrong, and it's only a pure miracle, that nothing bad has happened. The only reason that nothing bad hasn't already happened is Lot was on their side. But there will come a day where Lot isn't on Chris and Sarah's side. There will come a day where their spell of good luck will fade away, and there will come a day where things will come crashing down for them. I've said this for a long time, that kids are going to end up paying the price for Chris and Sarah's reckless and irresponsible actions. And it's only a matter of time before they do pay the price for that. As I said, I'm just incredibly thankful that nothing bad hasn't already happened to the kids already. But I fear, and I really, really fear, that it's only a matter of time before it does. I remember one day, I have made, when they were living here, still living here in the UK, I made various calls to social services, and I reported them, and I was saying, this, that and the other. And then one day I called them, and they actually accused me of having a personal vendetta against the family. And basically, they basically accused me of having a personal vendetta against the family, when all I was trying to do was voice the fact that I was incredibly concerned about the kids. And I did say that I feared that something bad was going to happen, and it was only a matter of time before it did. And I admit that there were times where I said that, and I have said it in emails that I've sent to social services. I have emailed them saying that they will be that it would be them to blame, that social services would be to blame if something bad did happen to the kids, because there have been so many occasions, but there have probably been quite a large number of occasions where social services probably should have stepped in, but they haven't bothered to do that. And I had said that if something bad happened to the kids, social services would be to blame for the fact that they didn't step in when they had the chance to do that. It's just madness with that. It really is. It's just pure madness. I honestly don't know what else to say, really. There's not really anything else I could say that hasn't already been said. Other than that they are becoming more and more, irresponsible and more reckless with each passing day. And it's like the more desperate the more desperate they get, the more fearful I get that something bad's gone out. The more fearful I become that something bad is gonna happen to the kids. I'm certain. I'm certain that it is only a matter of time before something bad does happen. I think I can guarantee you for sure that it is only a matter of time before something bad does happen. I'm sorry, but it is. It is only a matter of time before something goes very terribly wrong. It's only a matter of time before Sarah's irresponsible, reckless, dangerous, and careless actions end up having devastating and possibly even extremely tragic consequences for everyone involved. Simple as that, it has to be said. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video anyway, and I'll see you for another video very soon. Bye bye.